I was live streaming picking up trash, and the police were tracking my every move closely. Just because the items I picked up were all bizarre stuff, ranging from grenades to wartime antiques. Even digging up a shovel led straight to an ancient tomb, thanks to the bounty money. I struck it rich fast, leaving the local police completely helpless. Sometimes they really wanted to call 911. A trash picker was doing all their jobs for them. Now I stood by the roadside feeling utterly bored. Until this very moment, I still found it hard to believe. I had already been isekai'd for a whole day, let alone eating. I hadn't even had a sip of water. Because the original body owner, the previous host, participated in a reality observation show. His career started right off the bat with picking up trash, and he had to support a cameraman built like an ox, who dreamed of following around behind me. Problem was, I used to live a lavish life. I didn't know the first thing about picking up trash. At this moment, Chen, who beside me, spoke up. There's no AI around right now. Hurry up and hit those 6 trash cans across the street. Otherwise, before the show even bans us, we're going to starve to death. Hearing these words, I lowered my head and drew circles on the ground, hesitating for quite a while. Wait for that stray dog to leave first. Once it's gone, I'll go over. Hearing that Chen-Hu broke down, instantly tears welling up in his eyes. He had lost a whole pound today alone. Bro, I'm begging you. I don't even care about a real meal anymore. Just let me lick a water bottle. Hearing Chen-Hu's wails, I rubbed my temples, getting a headache. Damn it, let's just YOLO this. Since I'm already here, I've got to make a huge score. Besides, if I win, get a reward of 10,000 RMB. Life will be way easier. Thinking this, I suddenly stood up, glaring at the stray dog growling as I prepared to fight a dog for trash. But right at this moment, a sound suddenly rang in my head. Arrogant young master has been activated. Bottom feeder gentleman system. Scouting skill. First, even picking up trash can achieve great things. Hearing the system notification, I almost spat out blood. Are you playing with me, damn it? The very next moment, I saw the silver trash can before my eyes, exuding a faint red glow. At the same time, a light screen popped up. After scanning and looting this trash can, you will get at least 1,000 RMB worth of scrap. I instantly swallowed hard. How many buns can 1,000 RMB buy? Saying that, I charged over and looted the trash can away, carrying it as I dived into the bushes. Chen-Hu followed behind, dumbfounded. Wait a minute, we're picking up trash, not stealing trash. Why are you carrying away a trash can? Are you seriously freaking out? This is public property. Stealing it means getting fined. Where would we get the money to pay? Live stream viewers were also stunned. What is this number 3 idiot trying to do? Did he get driven crazy by the show? Ha ha. The stray dog nearby looked bewildered. Its meal just got stolen away by someone. Wait, look at what's inside the bin. At this moment, I had already dumped the trash can upside down, spilling the contents all over the ground. Bright red object was none other than a tightly tied black trash bag. I muttered to myself, is there tang monk meat inside this? Is it really worth 1,000 RMB? Thinking this, I violently ripped the bag open. Chen-Hu chased after me, holding the camera. Put the trash can back right now. The stray dog is chasing us. I can't hold it back. And besides, we're out here picking up trash, not begging for food. But Chen-Hu's words suddenly cut off. Looking at the hand inside the bag, he let out an ear-piercing scream. I was also startled awake from my daze. The two of us scrambled up and bolted out onto the lawn. The live stream channel completely blew up. My eyes. Isn't that a human hand? Holy crap. Holy crap, this isn't some mystical fragment. I was so scared I wanted to run. But while everyone was debating, I was afraid the stream would suddenly get cut off. Behind the scenes, the show production was in utter chaos. They had seen it very clearly just now. That was definitely a body part. Even though they hurriedly shut down the live stream, they were still a step too late. Rector Newlay remained surprisingly calm. What are you panicking for? Broadcast accidents are totally normal. It's just a coincidence. Just handle it and turn the stream back on. That's right, focus on tracking Lin Yan. If his mental state becomes unstable, disqualify him from the competition. Staff all nodded. Director Newlay is truly a master of his craft. Seeing that thing, he's still this calm. Chen-Hu and I also calmed down and immediately reported it to the Public Security Bureau. In less than half an hour, the end of the street was packed with official vehicles and a long warning tape was strung up. Outside, local residents crowded together. No matter how they were shooed away, they refused to leave. Everyone who could move had already come. Even bedridden elderly people, even forced his family to carry it over. Everyone's face was pale, yet they were still curiously gossiping. Inside the cordon, the police officer in charge of the investigation reported to Captain Wang Tijun that the body part just found shows cutting marks, which probably match the previous one, from the exact same set of model props. They just need to wait for the forensic test results. Wang Tijun nodded and had someone take the fragment back to the bureau. Then he looked at me and Chen Hu. You two come with us for a trip. If there's no issue? I hurriedly nodded. Sure, absolutely right now, but I want to ask one thing. Is free food included? Chen Hu beside me gave a thumbs up. First time seeing someone ask for a meal at the police station. Wang Tijun was left speechless as he looked at us. Seeing our ragged appearance, he still nodded in agreement. Besides, since you guys found the fragment, there's a reward of 1,000 RMB. Hearing that, I instantly realized, so this 1,000 came from the system. Chen Hu and I happily got into the car after finishing the procedures, holding our cash reward, and waving goodbye to Officer Wang. We carried our snake skin bag and left the Public Security Bureau. Wang Tijun let out a sigh at the entrance. Thought those two couldn't eat much. But who would have thought they polished off 7 or 8 bowls of noodles? They even ate my colleague's portion. At this moment, Chen Hu and I were walking down the street, turning the live stream back on. Chen Hu leaned in and whispered to me, "Hey, why don't you treat me to another meal?" Captain Wang kept staring at me the whole time. I was too shy to eat properly. I waved my hand and agreed, immediately deciding to go grab some BBQ. It's getting late anyway. Let's stroll through the BBQ street. Who knows, maybe we'll pick up some more loot. The two of us arrived at the BBQ street and just sat down when I spotted that trash can over there. It looked identical to the one earlier today, flickering with a faint natural red light. The system gave a reminder. After scanning those 6 trash cans, you will receive a 1,000 RMB reward. Boost, hurry up and act. I swallowed hard and abruptly stood up, walking toward the trash can. Sure enough, I spotted that familiar black plastic bag. My hands trembled slightly as I lifted it up high, just as I was about to check inside. Before Chen Hu could even warn the police, the BBQ restaurant owner rushed over, pointing right at my nose and cursing, "Hey, kid, what are you doing? Put that thing down right now. Who gave you permission to bring trash into my shop? I already found you guys suspicious. Now you're digging through the trash right in front of my door." I didn't know what to do or how to explain it. The old boss looked at my shaking hands, thinking to himself that it must be something valuable. With that thought, he snatched the bag right out of my hands. "Who told you could pick this up, huh? Wait. Wasn't this exact bag thrown away by the boss himself this afternoon? Are you trying to steal something? Leave it or not. I'm calling 911 right now." Hearing the two of them argue, I was dazed. Both of them were claiming it belonged to them, so I decided to ask, "Are you guys absolutely sure it's yours?" Obviously, my staff all saw it. "If you're going to eat, eat. If not, don't mess with my business." With that, the boss carried the bag back toward his shop. I scratched my nose and told Chen Hu, "Phone. Lend me your phone to call the Public Security Bureau and check if finding the killer gets us an extra reward." The call went through instantly. "Hello, is Captain Wang Tijun there? It's me, Lin Yan, from earlier today. That thing you guys were looking for, found it again, at Bawang BBQ shop on BBQ Street. Yep, the owner claims it's his, and he even has witnesses." Right. You guys better hurry over here, I'm hanging up." Next second, the owner came rushing out carrying the bag. "Oh, help me. Run, the cops are here. 911 is here." Chen Hu coordinated by hoisting the camera up. Live stream viewers went wild again. Congrats to contestant number 3 for collecting a new puzzle piece. We hit 10,000 viewers, old man. During the day, this stream had less than 100 people. Now it's up to tens of thousands. Absolutely one of a kind. Heh. Ain't that the truth? Have you ever seen anyone play a jigsaw puzzle with human body parts? Contestant number 3 is truly unmatched. Of course, I had no idea, because right then, I was cooperating, comforting the sobbing shop owner. Big bro, don't cry. Be a man and take responsibility. Just learn your lesson in the next life. Hearing me say that the owner cried even louder, Wang Tijun barked, "Take him away," then cast a suspicious gaze at Chen Hu and me, finding 2 major clues in a single day. No matter how you look at it, it's abnormal. I panicked Captain Wang. It really is just pure luck. Just now, we were planning to grab a midnight snack and saw the trash can was too full. So we thought of checking if there were any drinks inside. Wang Tijun sighed. He doubted us, but what's the point of our live stream? The cops spent all day searching and found nothing. Yet we searched and dug up 2 pieces of evidence. Wang Tijun was completely helpless. All right. Get back in the car with us. You guys know the drill. Take your reward and get lost. With that, he got into his car, but drove just a short distance before turning back around. Oh, right, let me tell you guys something. Tonight, all 30,000 trash cans across the entire city are going to get thoroughly cleaned out. I stood there dazed and utterly confused. What is the meaning of this? Is Captain Wang trying to steal my rice bowl? Before getting into the car, Chen Hu conveniently grabbed some leftover BBQ from the next table. It was already paid for anyway. Leaving it would be a waste. The 2 pros finished their business, and it was already past midnight. Chen Hu held the skewers with a wronged expression. Big bro, the cafeteria is all closed by now. How are we supposed to eat this meat? I stood in the middle of the courtyard and looked around, finally glancing toward the security guard's room. The old guard isn't asleep yet, right? Got any small stove in there? I've got some BBQ here, mind helping us reheat it, old man? Do you still have any alcohol left? Facing the old man's bewildered expression, I led Chen Hu sneaking into the room. Skewered meat, along with a bit of liquor. The 3 of us huddled together, drinking and eating meat, enjoying the meal to the absolute fullest. Old man, your life is truly great. Even after closing up shop, you still get to sip on booze. Haha, ain't that the truth? The old man was getting a bit tipsy, and when he heard me speak, he suddenly burst into loud sobs. My life has been way too miserable. I waited for my first love for 5 years, and it was so hard to finally wait until she came back. Who would have thought she'd remarry today without even telling me? At least let me go give her a wedding gift. I was completely speechless, watching the old man wail so miserably. Stunned for a moment, I stood up and said, "Don't be sad. Let me go buy 2 more bottles. Tonight, we'll drink to our heart's content with you." With that said, I vaulted out the window to a nearby convenience store to buy liquor. 2 minutes later, I came hugging another trash can right against my chest, running back with a worried look on my face. Thud, I placed the trash can onto the table. The old man blinked and stared at the waist-high bin. "Young man, no matter how good of a drinker I am, I've never used this thing as a cup before. Does this thing even have a bottom?" At the same time, Wang Tijun, dressed in sanitation worker clothes, was leading his team to inspect the trash cans. Everyone pay close attention. That trash picker managed to find clues twice, which proves the suspect intentionally did it. The final package is definitely still inside a trash can. The officers all gritted their teeth upon hearing this, filled with absolute determination. No matter what, we absolutely cannot let him find the final fragment. They were the professionals after all. Yet unexpectedly, after walking down 5 streets, their truck bed only had a few extra bags of plastic bottles. Thinking they had already turned the place upside down, they couldn't just return empty-handed. Wang Tijun looked at the pile of bottles. There really are a lot. Telling. These could probably fetch over 100 RMB. As soon as that thought flashed through his mind, he startled himself. I'm on a mission here. Why am I thinking about this kind of stuff? Right as he was getting distracted, the phone in his pocket suddenly buzzed, pulling it out. He saw it was Old Tan, the security guard, calling. Speaking of Old Tan's resume, he had guarded factory gates for 30 years and watched over commercial building gates too, even university dorms. In short, he had mastered guarding every kind of gate. Furthermore, his reputation was stellar. He worked meticulously and had never let any incidents happen. He answered the call and heard Old Tan howling in agony. Little Wang, you guys need to get back here right now. There's a human head inside the trash can. Right in the trash can, in front of the police station gate. Wang Tijun's mind completely blew up. In his head, all that remained was a head right in front of the police station gate. Gaining his composure, he immediately barked out an order. All units pull back. Instantly, the squad swarmed back carrying their gear. Captain, why are we suddenly heading back? We still have a few streets left. Let's search a bit more. It'd probably cover tonight's gas money. That's right, you guys have no idea. There's so much good stuff in the trash cans. I just fished out this gadget, and it's still brand new. What's so great about that? I just pulled out this pair of socks. Guess what brand it is? Hearing his team members showing off the veins on Wang Tijun's forehead bulged completely. Stop right there, all of you. Did you guys forget your mission or what? And who the hell said it was in front of our police station's gate? That trash can definitely has no issues. Go write me a 30,000-word self-reflection report. An hour later. Wang Tiejun led his team back to the bureau. As soon as they walked in, they saw the two trash pickers, along with Old Man Tan, squatting down in a circle, with a silver trash can placed right in front of them. Wang Tiejun was so furious, he gnashed his teeth. He had deployed 100 people to go dig through trash, busy working for several hours straight, only to have someone else snatch the final piece right from under their noses. Listening to Old Tan recount the story, he felt even more infuriated, ready to go crazy on the spot. Old Tan, you've been a guard for 30 years. Don't you know you aren't allowed to drink on duty? No matter what reason you have, it's unacceptable. And you too, you already collected your reward. Why haven't you left yet? You even brought beer and pig trotters. Explain this to me right now. You're eating pig trotters, huh? Why did you go digging through the trash? Did the pig trotters escape and climb into the trash can on their own? Wang Tiejun couldn't believe it, that such a coincidence could exist in this world. Yet it actually happened. I was completely at a loss too, having no idea how to explain this. When fate calls, even trash turns into gold. Seeing Wang Tiejun on the verge of a breakdown, still forced a smile and explained, Captain Wang, it's my fault. Promise that from now on, I will never go digging through the trash again. I will absolutely not cause any more trouble. To be honest, even trash is hard to scavenge nowadays. I have no idea where all the plastic bottles got thrown. But right as he was halfway through his sentence, saw those villagers from the mountain drag several large sacks out from the corner of the vehicle. The inside was completely packed with scrap materials. I was stunned for a few seconds before instantly changing my tune. Damn it, Captain Wang, I'm not fighting you for it. I told you we wouldn't find those items from earlier. How about this? Do you need me to contact a recycling station? The recycling spot designated by the organizers pays a bit higher. Captain Wang's iron teeth were grinding into dust. Clearly, the fragments had been neatly organized. But when I brought them up, I had no clue what to do, completely unable to even force a smile. Still, fortunately, I probably won't run into them again after this. Half an hour later, we left the shop holding 1,000 yuan, at which time the sky was already growing dim and bright, and Chen Hu and I were completely exhausted to the bone. Can't take this anymore. Should we find somewhere to crash first, or should we just sleep during the day and pull all-nighters instead? The competition pressure is smaller that way too. I stroked my chin, weighing the feasibility of Chen Hu's idea. Just where are we supposed to sleep anyway? This competition lasts for 15 days, and 3,000 yuan is still a long way from being enough to live in luxury. We definitely can't afford a hotel in the city center. After making our decision, Chen Hu and I flagged down a taxi to look for a place to sleep outside the city. Just find anywhere random, as long as we can lie down and sleep. With that said, Chen Hu and I let out a synchronized giant yawn, while the driver grunted an acknowledgement and started the car, instantly hearing thunderous snoring from the back seat. Glancing through the rearview mirror, the two guys in the back were already fast asleep. The driver gnashed his teeth. These youngsters nowadays don't want to study. You can just tell at a glance they spent the whole night gaming. They're an absolute spitting image of my own son at home. If I can't discipline that brat at home, could I possibly not handle these two punks? Uttering to himself, the driver stepped on the gas and bolted out of the city. I only felt how profoundly deep this sleep was, with the gentle breeze blowing across the bed, feeling so soothing, even more comfortable than a 5-star hotel. Just as I was about to order someone to keep sleeping, Chen Hu yanked me awake. Where on earth is this place? Why are we here? I groggily opened my eyes. To be honest, trash is getting hard to pick up these days. I have no idea where all the plastic bottles went. But mid-sentence, saw the sanitation officers pulling several sacks out from the back of the truck, filled entirely with scrap materials. I froze for a couple of seconds before instantly changing my tune. Damn it, Captain Wang, I'm not fighting you for them. I told you we wouldn't find that item from earlier. How about this? Do you need me to contact a recycling station? The recycling spot designated by the organizers pays slightly higher prices. Jack Wang Tijun was grinding his teeth to dust. Clearly, the puzzle pieces were all neatly arranged. I brought them in, but I have no idea what to do. Couldn't laugh at all. However, thankfully we probably won't run into them again after this. Half an hour later, we walked out of the shop with 1,000 RMB in hand. This time, the sky was already starting to grow bright. Chen-Hu and I were completely exhausted. Can't take it anymore. Should we find somewhere to crash first? Or maybe we should just sleep during the day and work at night. Competition pressure is smaller that way too. I stroked my chin, considering the feasibility of Chen-Hu's suggestion. Where are we even supposed to sleep? This contest lasts for 15 days. 3,000 RMB is way too far from being enough to splurge. We can't afford a hotel in the city. After making up our minds, Chen-Hu and I flagged down a taxi to find a place to sleep outside the city limits. Just pick any random spot driver. As long as we can lie down and sleep, it's fine. With that, Chen-Hu and I let out a simultaneous long yawn. The driver grunted in acknowledgement and started the car, only to hear thunderous snoring coming from the back seat. Glancing through the rear-view mirror, the two guys in the back were already fast asleep. Driver gnashed his teeth. These youngsters nowadays, refusing to study hard while they're young. You can just tell they spent the whole night gaming. They're an exact replica of my own son back home. If I can't keep that brat at home in line, there's no way I cannot handle these two punks right. Uttering to himself. The driver stepped on the gas and bolted out of the city. I only felt how deeply satisfying this sleep was. The gentle breeze blowing across the bed felt so cozy, even more comfortable than a 5-star hotel. Just as I was about to order myself to keep sleeping, Chen-Hu yanked me awake. The two of us walked around toward the wooden cabin. Discovering this was an abandoned house, Chen-Hu muttered. Live stream viewers were spamming complaints. Then I nodded, pushed the door open to take a look, found a spot to sit down, and prepared to rest. When I glanced toward the corner of the room, the system suddenly popped up, detected a chopper valued at over 10,000. I looked closer and saw a knife stuck in the ground, with the handle sticking out. This beat-up old knife is worth 10,000, full of doubt. I walked over, grabbed the handle with both hands, and pulled the knife out. Chen-Hu walked over too. Even scrap iron can be sold. We finally scavenged something good. That moment, I looked at the reddish stains on the blade and turned to Chen-Hu with trembling eyes. Chen-Hu, what is this? Could it be blood? Chen-Hu leaned closer, touched the mark on the blade, and rubbed it with his fingers. Chen-Hu's face turned pale, just as he was about to drag me away. We heard footsteps outside the door. Right after that, the door was shoved open. A man with messy, disheveled hair walked in. Our eyes met, and both sides stood there completely stunned. That guy immediately grabbed a wooden stick and charged right at us. I raised the chopper up high and slashed wildly. Everyone was dumbfounded. Holy crap, what is happening here? Did anyone call the police yet? Damn, this is freaking terrifying. What's up with this top student? This is seriously cursed. The production crew backstage was in total chaos. The staff had been frozen in shock ever since the second black bag appeared. They've been strung out and tense. Luckily, Chen-Hu didn't manage to film it clearly, which gave them a slight breather. But now a third bag had shown up, and right up to this chase, their hearts were still hanging by a thread. Afraid of negative publicity, they seriously couldn't understand why this contestant was so bizarre, running into so many crazy situations. Everyone glued their eyes to the screen, ready to cut the live stream feed at any second. Director Nu Shen took a deep breath to calm everyone down. Don't panic. It's just a coincidence. It won't affect the filming. He immediately grabbed his blood pressure medication and stealthily popped 2 pills at the exact same time. The Public Security Bureau meeting room. Wang Tijun had dark circles under his eyes as he discussed the case details. Reporting in the forensic department has results based on the current clues. Crime scene might possibly be Hejiawan Cemetery. Everyone get ready. We're moving out in 5 minutes. Following Wang Tijun's command, the entire meeting room sprang into action. Suddenly remembering something, Wang Tijun called a female officer over. Did you keep track of Lin Yan? Where did they go after leaving the meeting? Is something wrong? The female officer blinked hurriedly, pulling out her phone to open the live stream. But before she could even see anything on the stream, a scream echoed out. Wang Tijun rushed over to take a look, seeing the camera shaking violently. It was clearly Chen Hu running while carrying the camera. Lens pointed backward, flashed a brief glimpse of a man chasing after them with a wooden horse. Looking at that man's silhouette, Wang Tijun's heart suddenly skipped a beat. Thinking of this, Wang Tijun asked, "Could you clearly tell where that is?" The junior officer scratched her head, her eyes suddenly widening. "Captain, it's probably Hejiawan. Cemetery groundskeepers were still sleeping there this afternoon. Judging by the terrain, it's definitely still there." Hearing that, Wang Tiejun closed his eyes, staying silent for a full half-minute. "Go to the logistics department. Bring the accountant along and have the reward paperwork ready. Head out with us. If nothing goes wrong, that man is definitely the killer." Right at this moment, the deep forest was in total chaos. The guy behind them was relentlessly chasing them down. "He's been hunting us for over half an hour. All I did was hit him with the flat side of the blade. Does he really need to hunt me down like this?" I panted, heavily running, while looking back at a terrified Chen Hu, who barked, "Big bro, wait for me. If I run any more, I'm gonna die." "Cut the crap. Do you even have any conscience left? Take the camera and carry it for me." I curled my lips in disdain. Just as I was contemplating showing a bit of conscience, voice rang out from behind us. Chen Hu and I stopped in our tracks and looked back to see three aunties wielding farm tools, having already beaten the man flat to the ground. "We finally caught you. Do you guys even know who I am? I used to be on the provincial sports team, you know. Now confess to me right this second. Which of you stole the old man's offerings?" I stood frozen, staring at the formidable auntie, wiping away a cold sweat, and quickly fished out 200 RMB from my pocket. Cupping my hands together, I pleaded earnestly with her. "It's all just a misunderstanding. We're just scrap collectors. Please take these 200 RMB to buy some fruits, auntie. Don't mind that it's a bit small." Late in the evening, at the entrance of Hejiawan Cemetery, police vehicles were parked in neat long rows. A murder case had broken out at the cemetery. Not only did the police arrive, but even the press corps showed up, everyone carrying a camera. Rushed in a hurry straight into the cemetery. Deep in the small forest behind the cemetery, Wang Tijun stood there with an expression that was neither sad nor happy, completely deadpan. He got beaten up. Seriously, he actually got beaten up. And after verifying that middle-aged guy was indeed the suspect, no heavy interrogation was even needed. The moment they saw the police, he immediately burst into tears and confessed everything, with only one single request: get that auntie as far away as possible, and don't let her swing that chicken-wielding hoe at him anymore. After processing the crime scene, Wang Tijun let out a long breath of relief and walked over to where we were. "I'm honestly wondering what kind of scrap collecting you guys are doing. What on earth is there to pick up out here?" Hugging his head, Chen Hu felt the resentful glares all around us, so I had no choice but to lower my head and stay silent. Right as the tension was peaking, a mob of reporters holding microphones swarmed over and completely surrounded us. Before Wang Tijun could even react, they shoved their mics right up against his face. "Captain Wang, with a murder case. This severe happening. Word is the higher-ups gave you a whole week, yet barely 2 days have passed, and the criminal is already behind bars. Do you have any case-solving secrets to share?" "That's right, Captain Wang. Could you share with us why this case was solved so blindingly fast? Does this operation have anything to do with last night's trash can incident?" Seriously, what an absolute irony. How on earth was he supposed to answer that? Should he say they cracked the case, thanks to 2 scrap pickers? Wang Tijun took a deep breath. "Apologies, everyone. The case is still currently under investigation, so we cannot disclose any details at this time." Right at that moment, a reporter suddenly let out a soft gasp, and holding a microphone dashed quickly over toward me, staring at me with an expression full of shock. "You're Lin Yan, contestant number 3, who collects scrap metal. Right, why are you 2 guys here? Could it be that you found another puzzle piece?" Just as I was trying to figure out how to respond, Chen Hu stepped forward facing the microphone and said for the specific details, "You guys can ask me. First, let me introduce myself. I am Lin Yan's cameraman. The entire process of discovering this criminal, I recorded every single second of it. If you want to watch the thrilling process, head over to our live stream room to watch the rerun." With that, Chen Hu even gave me a wink. That's when I suddenly remembered. Viewer count is also one of the evaluation metrics. With so many reporters right here at the scene, if this makes the news, securing first place is practically guaranteed. Naturally, upon hearing this, the crowd of reporters abandoned Wang Tijun completely and swarmed all over us. As the interview took place, The program's back-end data exploded. Director. Live stream room viewer count is skyrocketing. It has already crossed the 50,000 threshold. Furthermore, Lin Yan's live stream has hit the trending searches. Holy crap, our show is seriously blowing up. Director Nu Shen stared in a daze at the back-end data, never expecting that a low-budget show like this would achieve such results. I took a deep breath right now. Contestant number 3 collects scrap and whatever is on the police wanted lists. He scavenges every single piece without leaving a single thing behind. The reason for his success is because of his show. Quickly have someone contact Lin Yan and give him a subtle hint. Tell him to keep up the good work and keep scavenging that scrap. Looks like this director is going to have to keep chugging tea. Upon hearing Nu Shen's words, staff members present right there couldn't help but feel completely speechless. Meanwhile, back in the cemetery, I looked into Wang Tijun's gaze and tremblingly accepted 10,000 RMB in reward money. This whole affair could be considered a full happy ending. The cemetery manager, who had been waiting nearby, enthusiastically saw us out to the cemetery gates. If you two weren't shooting a show, no matter what, I'd have to invite you both in. You have no idea. Just this very afternoon, our cemetery has already booked several dozen orders. If you guys go picking up trash again in the future, our cemetery's doors are always wide open to welcome you. The cemetery manager was in an exceptionally great mood. Day's single-day sales were practically equal to a whole year's worth. Arriving at the cemetery gates, he still reluctantly gripped my hands tightly, pouring out endless praise. If it weren't for the fact that I would have had someone take your photos already, we would have posted them up at the cemetery entrance later, so every single guard would recognize your faces. You guys can come over anytime you want. We always welcome you guys. Facing the guy, getting more and more carried away, I exchanged a few polite pleasantries with him and hurriedly grabbed Chen Hu, bolting away without looking back. The two of us strolled leisurely down the road, unusually quiet for once. Even though we raked in 10,000 in reward money today, neither of us could actually feel happy about it, because I got a warning from the production team saying I had strayed away from the core theme and forcing me to get back on track. I rubbed my hair, getting a massive headache. Chen Hu beside me let out a sigh too. To be completely honest, over the last 2 days, he found this way more entertaining than picking up trash. Furthermore, it seemed like they also kind of can't manage to find any trash to pick up right now anyway. Trying to force us back to the old topic by the production team is seriously tough. Chen Hu's eyes suddenly lit up. Big bro, I know where we can go scavenge some bottles. My gear is still back at that garbage dump. We just need to change into their uniforms, and we can waltz right in. Absolutely make sure no third person finds out. Otherwise, my uncle's gonna get fired for sure. I stood there, dumbfounded, staring silently, my gaze drifting to the camera in his hands, corners of my mouth twitching uncontrollably, at a complete loss for words. Should I praise going to the dump for bottles as some kind of genius idea or compliment his galaxy brain planning? My guy, forget a third person. Tens of thousands of people already know everything. Chen Hu's uncle works at the garbage dump, and we're live streaming right now. But hey, he doesn't know that. Keep it down my ass. I let out a long sigh, patted Chen Hu on the shoulder, and told him, let's go. Let's go buy some sacks before your uncle gets fired, and try to pull off a massive haul. Shortly after, one fat guy and one skinny guy, each with hundreds of sacks on their shoulders, sprint to the garbage dump like flying. Right at this moment, at the Changfeng waste processing station, looking at this morning's pile of trash, they let out sighs. Just what was that lone guy doing in the city last night? This is the first time I've ever seen trash this clean. There isn't a single item you can actually sell for cash. Right, I've been sorting for hours and couldn't find a single valuable thing. This is seriously messed up. Today's trash is completely abnormal. Old Liu, you've got a relative working as a cameraman for that trash-picking show, right? Hurry up and ask if they were the ones who did this. Are they leaving anyone else away to make a living, or what? Hearing that, old Liu fell into deep thought and nodded. Normally, even if the sorted trash is a bit low, everyone still makes a few dozen bucks. Today, it was practically vacuumed, completely clean. Just as old Liu was hesitating whether to ask, the phone in his pocket rang out. Old Liu pulled out his phone, and sure enough, it was his nephew. After finishing the call, old Liu hurried over to the dump entrance. Chen Hu and I saw someone approaching, and immediately handed over the fruit brought straight from the cemetery, conveniently expressing our intentions. Uncle Liu accepted the fruit and felt quite flattered. Anyway, today's trash didn't have anything in it anyway, so letting the two kids rummage around a bit is fine too, as long as they share a little fruit with everyone. Nobody's going to say a word. After that, Chen-Hu and I started getting busy at the dump. Uncle Liu invited his co-workers into the office, enthusiastically sharing the fruit with them, when suddenly someone cried out in shock, "How come these apples have words carved on them?" Old Liu turned his head back to look, and seeing the words carved onto the apple skin, his entire body went completely blank. Meanwhile, over at the trash pile, Chen-Hu and I were sitting atop the mountain of garbage, staring at each other with gloomy expressions. This garbage dump is cleaner than a dog licking a clean pot. For the whole morning, we haven't seen a single scrap of metal. Looking at the sacks we bought for a whole 100 RMB, my mood was utterly shattered. Suddenly, Chen-Hu slapped his own forehead. "Big bro, I know what the issue is. While we were scavenging trash last night, Security Bureau was digging through it the entire night, too. All the good stuff must have been taken by them already." Hearing that, I closed my eyes. Talk about pure carelessness. Why didn't I think of that before coming here? But then again, even though Wang Tiejun might suck at finding evidence, he sure as hell scrubs a garbage pile completely spotless. I looked helplessly at Chen-Hu and asked, "What do we do now? Are we seriously going home empty-handed? Keep searching, bro." Mountain of trash. This big can't possibly have nothing left. Besides, I know my uncle's scavenging habits. He doesn't bother with small trivial items. Following that, Chen-Hu and I had no choice but to grab our small shovels and diligently dig away on the massive garbage mountain. Suddenly, a metallic clink rang out. The shovel in my hand and the pile of trash under my feet suddenly made a sharp clashing sound. Chen-Hu beside me hurriedly rushed over with the camera. "How's it going, bro? Didn't I tell you you can't doubt my uncle? The guy can even squeeze out scrap metal while taking a dump. There's definitely something left behind in here. We've basically scored our first item." Chen-Hu's face was brimming with excitement. His eyes fixed intently on the edge of the shovel. Was also feeling extremely full of anticipation. A little shovel started digging. A piece of steel is way more valuable than plastic bottles anyway, and since the police shovels didn't reach this spot, this is definitely going to be a huge score. Old Liu, seeing Chen-Hu and me digging away with shovels under the garbage mountain, was also feeling curious and leaned in closer to look. Inside the small hole, a rusty fragment was exposed. It was an object made of metal. "Damn kid, your luck is seriously good. This must have been buried deep at the very bottom, before this garbage mountain was even piled up. Keep digging, and let's see." Something feels a bit off though. My facial expression grew even more excited as I rubbed my hands together and dug harder. Right in the middle of digging, Chen-Hu muttered beside me, "How come two wings are sticking out of this thing?" I was also filled with confusion. The expert old Liu nearby was super pumped. "I've been doing this for so many years, and this is my first time seeing this. What on earth could this even be? Everyone, wait right here. I'm going to go call some people over. Let's dig this massive thing out first." Before long, old Liu called over more coworkers, each with a shovel, digging right through the trash pile, carving out a large pit. When the top portion was finally exposed, everyone froze in absolute shock. It was an unexploded artillery shell. Holy crap. Damn it, is that a bomb? I told you those spiritual apples shouldn't have been eaten. You guys all know how powerful those things are. Everyone scatter right now. Get as far away as possible. Good grief, old Liu. Are you out of your mind? The bomb is about to blow. What on earth are you climbing that utility pole for? If it blows up, won't we fly to heaven even faster? Seeing the tip of the bomb exposed on the ground, everyone felt absolute panic in their hearts. I twitched my lips, hiding behind a utility pole, my legs turning to jelly. Thought we finally dug up some good junk this time. Never in a million years did I expect that it would fucking be a bomb, at least over 2 meters long. What's hateful is this damn system. It waited until the bomb was dug up before slowly and sluggishly sending out a notification. We were this close to digging right into it. What's the use of reporting it after it blows up? Right at that moment, someone said with a shaking voice, "Shouldn't we report this to the Public Security Bureau?" Hearing that, I hurriedly shouted with beaming eyes, that's right, hurry up and call them. I know a guy inside the bureau. Just look for Captain Wang Tiejun." Beside me, Chen-Hu gently nudged his uncle, and with a dead serious expression said, "Uncle, are we still taking those apples back? Things feel a bit demonic tonight. Should we just offer 3 apples to the bomb instead?" If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have dug up people's graves. Meanwhile, inside the live stream room, all the fans had their hearts in their mouths. I knew it. I seriously knew it. Watching 2 hours of garbage picking was totally not in vain. They actually dug up something massive. Everybody wave your flags for my Lin Yun. This is a waste sorting station, though. How on earth is there something like this here? Didn't they sweep the area when building the dump? Upstairs, you clearly don't get it. Our Dragon Kingdom doesn't lack bombs like this at all. When I was a kid, my house even had one. My dad used to let me ride on top of the bomb to play. Making it alive to this age is seriously pure luck. Aha! These two guys are about to torment Captain Wang again. I am so looking forward to Captain Wang's reaction. Over at the Public Security Bureau, Wang Taijun had been busy for 2 days and nights and was fatigued to the absolute extreme. Even walking to the restroom required leaning against the wall. Fortunately, the case was finally coming to an end. Wang Taijun looked at his panda eyes in the mirror and clapped his hands to encourage everyone to hang in for just a few more minutes. Once we finish the simple summary, we can all take a break. Although the investigation process wasn't quite ideal, luckily the case was solved fast enough, and the higher-ups are extremely satisfied. Starting tomorrow, we'll roll out vacation shifts. Right as he finished speaking, the door was slammed open. Captain, we've got a major emergency. That guy Lin Yun caused trouble again. He and his crew went to pick trash at the sorting station and dug up a bomb. Dug it up and whatever. But the main thing is, who knows what they were thinking? They actually went and organized a funeral ceremony for the bomb. Changha slammed the desk down and roared at everyone present. Immediately cancel all leaves for the fire department and bomb squad. Get everyone over to the waste sorting station right now. Move it. The entire Public Security Bureau descended into chaos. Police vehicles lined up one after another, sirens blazing as they rushed out of the bureau. Right at this moment, beneath the garbage mountain at the sorting station, Manhwa and I had placed 7 apples and 3 oranges in a row, and were devoutly kowtowing before the bomb's nose. O great bomb above, please accept our respects. This scene made Old Lou's mouth twitch uncontrollably. None of them had ever seen anyone kowtow to a bomb before. Someone asked Old Lou, completely bewildered, "Is this relative of yours' head stuck in a door when he was a kid? Or what I feel like both of them are totally abnormal. In all my years, I've never seen anyone go scavenging right out of a cemetery. How can you even say that I saw it crystal clear with my own eyes? That kid collected the most stuff and made a killing. One guy is brave with his life, and the other is talented and bold. Let's see how many times you'll need to get beaten up later to match the wealth from these apples." Amidst the crowd's mockery, the Public Security Bureau's vehicles finally arrived. Wang Taijun led his men in a brisk stride over, leaving the people at the dump completely dazed. Are these seriously folks from the Public Security Bureau? How does everyone have such heavy dark circles under their eyes? Old Lau remained silent for a few seconds before walking up and dropping a critical blow right off the bat. Captain Wang, oh man. Sorry to keep troubling you guys like this. I hope we didn't interrupt your structural celebration banquet. Wang Taijun gritted his teeth hard and tiredly waved his hand, his dark eye circles front and center. Shenhu and I stared intently at us for a long time. In the end, he just let out a single sigh. Without being able to utter a single word, Shenhu and I covered our mouths in shock, quietly stepping aside to make way as Wang Taijun led his team straight to the bomb pit, which already had several boxes of apples scattered around. He looked at his comrades and commanded, "That's an order. Put on the explosion-proof suits. Must be extremely careful. Clear away the surrounding debris first." Not long after the Special Ops and Fire Department arrived, everyone joined forces to dig through the trash pit. But very quickly, the bomb squad members discovered something unusual. Where on earth did the public security officers find those sacks? One hand holding a sack, the other wielding a shovel. You have to know digging and scavenging are supposed to be their specialty. Yet now they were getting outdone by the Public Security Bureau. The Special Ops captain let out a loud shout. "Stop standing around like statues over there. Can't you see, everyone is racing against time? Hurry up and step up the pace for me. We can't let them beat us. With so many people, our strength is unmatched." When the sky was just starting to grow bright, this entire mountain of garbage had been thoroughly excavated for inspection. Looking at the rusty bomb exposed in the deep pit, Wang Taijun let out a long breath of relief. It was finally safely dug out. He clapped his hands together and walked over toward Chenhu and me. "Pack your bags, let's go. The rest is a problem. to the special ops. They'll handle the 10,000 RMB reward. We are law-abiding citizens. Let's move out at the exact same time. In the program's backstage, Niushin had just woken up. The sky's falling should a thing like a bomb even appear on the show. He originally planned to pass on these views, but the ratings surged by a massive 10 points. And besides, he didn't even have any excuse to arbitrarily push away something like a bomb find. His current situation is essentially leaderless, leaving the scrap picker troubled. What hurts even more is making 20,000 in 2 days. What kind of trash picking makes tens of thousands a month? This completely contradicts the original intention of the show. Yushin was now truly getting a massive headache. On our side, after finishing up the procedures, it wasn't long before someone handed over 10,000 in reward money, along with 2 bus tickets, saying it was a heartfelt gift from Wang Tiejun. Captain Wang is seriously such a good guy. Not only did he award us cash, he even paid out of his own pocket to buy tickets for me. Where on earth are you gonna find someone as nice as that? Man, I really hate to part ways with Captain Wang. Chen-hu sneered, pulling me away from the Public Security Bureau. Bro, you don't know a thing. I bet we aren't leaving anytime soon. Captain Wang is probably regretting this to his core right now. After that, the 2 of us headed to the East Bus Station, checked our tickets, and boarded a long-distance bus. As the bus slowly started rolling, I tilted my head to look at the scenery outside, letting out a yawn. How much longer until we get there? Can I close my eyes and catch some sleep? Chen-hu pulled the bus ticket out of his pocket to check the details. Jindu to Miancheng 128 hours. You can rest easy and go right to sleep, bro. We still have a long way to go before we get off. Miancheng is 128 hours away. This is sending us 1,000 miles away. Besides, the show only lasts for 15 days, and 13 of those days would just be spent on a bus. Wouldn't that completely ruin our money-making plans? We absolutely cannot go to this Miancheng the moment this long-distance bus leaves Tanzhou, even if it means jumping out in the middle of nowhere. I gotta get off. Meanwhile, back at the Public Security Bureau, Wang Tiejun sat in his office, making a phone call to his old classmate. Are you sure those 2 guys got on the bus? Haha. Awesome. You're doing me a massive favor this time. It's no big deal at all. I'll treat you to dinner another day. Wang Tiejun hung up the phone with a beaming grin. They're finally sent away. Traveling all the way to Miancheng takes a few days anyway, so even if those 2 want to turn back and head home, the show will already be over. Just as Wang Tiejun was calculating everything meticulously, suddenly his office door was knocked on. When an officer walked in holding a document, Captain Wang, higher-ups just called, requesting the Sindhu Public Security Bureau to cooperate, and saying that the wasteland outside Sindhu has been requisitioned by the military corps to hold a 3-day military exercise, and we need to go clean up the battlefield afterward. Wang Tiejun's brow twitched. A battlefield cleanup. Why do I have to go? He quickly raised his head to look at the officer, asking with suspicion. Is it just our bureau going, or are other public security bureaus going too? Just our bureau, according to the higher-ups. Word is our bureau specializes in cleaning up battlefields. A loud roar exploded from Wang Tiejun at the exact same time on the bus that Lin Yan and Chen-hu were riding. Whip finally managed to successfully get off at the border of Shindu. Watching the bus drive away and depart, I let out a sigh of relief and looked over at Chen-hu. Chen-hu, I feel like this driver was a bit sketchy. He could very well be an undercover cop from the Public Security Bureau. Anyway, since we're collecting scrap, let's just head into the wilderness. Who knows, we might even scavenge some good loot. Chen-hu replied nonchalantly, shrugging his shoulders. Picking up trash anywhere is still picking up trash. Besides, he didn't want to go to Miancheng either. The 2 of us hoisted our sacks and marched right in. Inside the live stream room, the viewers seeing this couldn't help mocking them. These 2 guys really take the most bizarre paths. What on earth is there in a desolate wasteland like this? It'd be a miracle if you could find any trash out there. No kidding, in my opinion. Going to a construction site is always the best choice. Look at contestant number 1, working odd jobs for free at the construction site during the day, and collecting scrap metal and plastic bottles at night like a total boss, filling up multiple sacks in a single night. Looking at this, it makes me want to go pick trash too. How much money did number 1 make anyway? Mod over 10,000 yuan, guys. I'm a newbie here. Is this the guy who found the bomb? Does anyone have his contact info? I want to ask if he has a personal grudge against my dad. And poverty is really driving people crazy. Meanwhile, Chen-Hu and I, after walking for hours until we couldn't go on, decided to head into a small grove to rest. Hearing that, Chen-Hu immediately pulled out his phone, checked the route on the map, and went completely blank. Bro, we are so screwed. I knew I shouldn't have listened to you. If we keep going, we'll end up behind a massive mountain. This is bad. Let's just turn back. There's nothing out here except wasteland. We haven't even picked up a single piece of trash. I stared at the map for a long while. My bad, I missed that detail. But telling me to turn back, no way anywhere is fine. What do you mean we can't go back? I patted Chen-Hu on the shoulder. Let's keep going. I refuse to believe that a piece of land this huge doesn't have even a little bit of trash. Right on cue, a roaring sound echoed through the sky suddenly. I raised my head and saw something the size of a wagon wheel right above us, with black smoke spewing from its tail, crashing headfirst into a tree right above our heads. An explosion rang out, sparks flying everywhere, and countless metal fragments rained down from high above, planting themselves right in front of us. Bro, our prediction skills are way too OP. I stood there dumbfounded, reaching up to touch my nose, and probed cautiously. Do you think this thing counts as scrap metal? It's completely smashed to pieces like this. A short while later, the two of us scavenged all the parts scattered on the ground, lit a campfire, and harvested a nice bunch of copper wires. Suddenly, Chen-Hu let out a yell, picked up a piece of a small drone shell from the tree, shoved it right in my face. Holy crap, bro. Look at what's printed on this. I took the drone shell from Chen-Hu, lowered my head to look closely, and saw a line of text. Western Theater Command Reconnaissance Bureau. I swallowed hard and looked down at the pile of ashes on the ground. A sense of absolute despair surged up within me, even though we weren't the ones who shot it down. The components were all burned by us aside from the outer shell. Anything containing metal or plastic inside was completely burned away by our campfire. You can rest easy, bro. When you go do time behind bars, I'll visit you regularly. What's the charge for sabotaging military supplies again? 3 years, I think. By that time, I'll visit you every single month. Hearing Chen-Hu say that, I panicked completely, immediately snatched his phone from his hands, and dialed the Shindu Public Security Bureau right away, planning to say, I didn't do it on purpose, so I could get leniency. No matter how many times I called, it wouldn't go through. The line was constantly busy. Inside the live stream room, the chat was completely flooded with comments. It's over. We're actually doomed. We're watching a good show here. How can it end this early? It's way too good. The guy is practically booking his prison cell ticket. We haven't even seen any scrap metal yet. This is seriously too wild. Wait, hold on a second. Are you guys calling to report a crime right now? How come my calls won't go through either? These guys are absolute legends, seriously. Even the host, Nushin, can't get through. Have mercy and leave the poor host a way out, man. This is getting way too costly. Program director Nushin was utterly dumbfounded. As the director of this show, I knew he was totally finished this time. There was no way this episode wouldn't get suspended. In a daze, he dialed a phone number. Listen closely, and don't ask any questions. I have some secret stash money hidden away. Let me tell you where underneath the toilet pedestal, there's a hollow spot. Pry open the floor tiles right under there. At the exact same time, Wang Tiejun was leading his troops out on the road. Sitting in the car, he let out 3 heavy sighs before finally calming himself down. Whatever being good at scavenging is still a talent of sorts. Just consider it a contribution to the Bureau. Right as he recovered his spirits, the phone in his pocket suddenly vibrated. He pulled it out to check the message from Chen-Hu. Captain Wang. Sorry to bother you. The thing is, we accidentally picked up a drone and wanted to ask if the Public Security Bureau needs it. It belongs to the Theater Command Reconnaissance Bureau. It even has the serial number right on it. Wang Tiejun fell silent for a few seconds, then gritted his teeth and opened the live stream. With a single glance, he instantly recognized their location. It was the exact battlefield the higher-ups had ordered them to clean up. Wang Tiejun stood frozen in utter shock. You've got to be kidding me. We just sent out our rookies. Those 2 guys have already reached the high ground. Didn't we just deport them? So how did this happen? Could our bureau have an inside mole or something? Otherwise, how come every single time there's a mission, these 2 guys always manage to snatch it away? Finding debris is like hunting down criminals, and now even battlefield cleanup is getting stolen. Wang Taejun started to seriously doubt life. Meanwhile, over by the other side of the forest, under the heavy rain, Chen Hu sent a message and looked at me. Bro, don't stress out anymore. Since you didn't dare call Captain Wang yourself, I already helped you send the message. Besides, I saw netizens online saying that the theater command was doing drone exercises a few days ago, so this must be something left behind. There shouldn't be any issues at all. Hearing that, I snatched Chen Hu's phone and noticed a user named Sindu Gatekeeper jumping into the chat with a flood of continuous comments, saying not only was the drone from the military exercise, but battlefield exercise debris can actually be turned in for a reward with no issues at all. You can even exchange it for a bounty at the Public Security Bureau, and the higher the recovery value, the bigger the payout. I looked closer at the netizen's profile picture. Isn't that literally the guard shack outside the Public Security Bureau? Isn't this Uncle Gatekeeper himself? His word has got to be 100% legit. Let out a massive sigh of relief as a bold idea popped into my head. I raised my head and looked at Chen Hu. Guess what, Chen Hu? We've got ourselves a new job. I led Chen Hu deeper into the field. Two of us, walking and scratching at the dirt, trying hard to find anything else. But for over an hour straight, we couldn't even find a single piece of plastic. Still, we did manage to harvest something. The two of us hoed up so much dirt that we could probably grow rice after a rainstorm. Clearly, the system wasn't giving any hints at all. Could it be broken? Annoyed, I slammed my hoe hard into the ground, unexpectedly hitting something solid that sent a numbing vibration straight up my arm. Hearing the sound, Chen Hu turned his head and saw my hoe warped and deformed from the impact, standing there frozen before giving me a deep, knowing look. Bro, be honest with me. Did you hide some treasure here or what? How are you like a walking metal detector? With that, he squatted down and whipped out a small shovel to start digging. I squatted down too, to see there was nothing visible, until I pulled a spherical object out of the dirt. Chen Hu, isn't this a grenade? I swallowed hard again. I never expected to pull out a completely intact one. Why on earth is this thing buried out here? This is a wasteland that anyone off the street can wander into. What if some bad guy digs it up? Wouldn't that be a massive problem? I tossed the item into my snakeskin bag and looked over at Chen Hu. Chen Hu, hurry up and keep digging. I just checked, there's more down there. He flattened his entire body onto the ground, carefully scooping the dirt out of the hole. Chen Hu followed suit, and after working tirelessly for half an hour, we had dug up over a dozen grenades, and they were all completely intact, ready to detonate at any second. The viewers in the live stream room were completely dumbfounded. Holy crap, are these not just props? There's no way these are props. Someone said this area was used for military exercises. They're definitely the real deal. Oh my god, so all of these are real. Chen Hu handed them over to us to look at. I've never seen a real grenade in my life. Live stream audience was hyped to the max. After all, this was their very first time watching a live battlefield cleanup. Following that, viewers flooded into the stream in droves. And in just a short amount of time, the live stream view count surged past the 500,000 mark. This threw Wang Taejun into a panicky frenzy because the theater command leadership called to ask what on earth was going on. They were clearly supposed to go clean up a battlefield. So how did it end up being two trash pickers doing it instead, and even live streaming it online? Wang Taejun was completely shocked, and with no idea how to explain. He just kept urging the driver to drive faster. Right at that moment, over at a large garbage dump outside Shindu, when the other contestants realized that their live stream fan counts were starting to drop, they searched around and discovered that all their fans had fled over to contestant number 3's room. Seeing this, the contestants completely gave up on picking regular trash. Who on earth can compete with guys unearthing live grenades? One contestant gritted his teeth and shouted, "Know that wasteland too. It's right near our village. Anyway, winning the championship is completely hopeless anyway. So heading over there to pick up shell casings can still make us some cash. That's way better than sitting around here waiting. Is anyone else down to come with me?" As soon as he shouted those words, the other contestants all eagerly raised their hands. In less than a minute, the contestants at the garbage dump had completely cleared out. And that's not even all. Eager to cash in on all that money as fast as possible, everyone pooled their cash over the past few days to rent tractors roaring forward, straight toward the wasteland outside Shindu, where the trash picking was happening. Seeing this, the regular scavengers thought that everyone had found some insanely lucrative spot and hurriedly grabbed their gear to chase after them. Right behind the tractors, a massive mob trailed along in a long line. Passers-by who witnessed this sight, whether they were scrap pickers or street beggars, joined the marching convoy by the dozens. Over on the other side, Nushin had already packed his luggage, planning to turn himself in at the police station for leniency. When suddenly the office door was violently flung open. Director New, you better hurry and look at this. Word online is that over at Linyun's wasteland there's stray ammunition. It was originally an exercise zone, meant for a battlefield cleanup. And now, all the contestants have rushed over to the wasteland. Heard the cops went over there too, and they even bought out every single hoe in the supermarket. Hearing that Nushin stood there, completely stunned, even the police went over there. What does that mean? Does that mean this isn't illegal? That means I'm totally safe. Wait, but what is up with all those other contestants? Nushin hurriedly bolted outside after the staff member and looked at the backstage livestream monitors. Aside from a few people still picking trash at the construction site, every single other contestant was crammed onto tractors. And what was even more shocking was that right behind them was a convoy of over 100 people. Old folks, young guys, girls. They had everyone. And everyone looked super professional, with snakeskin sacks tied around their waists, a shovel in one hand, and a hoe in the other, charging fiercely right behind the tractors. Nushin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Good news is I'm not dead. The bad news is the show is completely ruined, and even my pocket money is totally gone. Right at this moment, dusk had fallen over the wasteland. Chen-Hu and I dragged half a sack of grenades out of the ground, completely surrounded by shell casings. I saw a flash of red light. Before I even had time to celebrate, I heard a sound as Chen-Hu quickly stepped right on something. I yelled out at the top of my lungs, "Chen-Hu, don't move!" Hearing that Chen-Hu froze in his tracks, I hurriedly rushed over, carefully checking the system notification. Probing it revealed that unearthing it would grant a reward worth over 1,000 yuan. Cold sweat instantly broke out all over me, even though I wasn't sure what it was. Ever since the system activated, whenever a notification popped up, none of them were ever normal. They were always fragment parts or explosive items, and this time was definitely no exception. Shenhe was scared out of his mind by my reaction. "What's going on, bro? It's not a mine, is it? If I run right now, is it still gonna be fast enough?" I tightly pursed my lips, looking at little Chen-Hu with a pitying gaze. "Bro, it's already too late. Do you have any last words?" Hearing that Chen-Hu's legs began to tremble violently. After hesitating, he shoved the camera into my hands and started wailing in utter despair. My mom always said I've had a hard life since I was a kid. Couldn't even get a decent bite of food at wedding banquets. "Bro, can we order takeout out here or what? Can I please get 2 pounds of braised pork knuckles? We've been working our fingers to the bone all day today, and I haven't even had time to eat dinner yet." I rolled my eyes and waved my hand to calm Chen-Hu down a little. "All right, stop stressing. I'll go grab that rock over there. To be honest, this is a military drill exercise area, so it might just be a dummy prop." Right as I finished speaking the phone in, Chen-Hu's pocket started ringing. I stepped forward to pull out the phone and took a look. To my absolute surprise, it was Wang Tiejun calling Lin Yun. "Let me tell you right now, make sure. Chen-Hu absolutely does not budge an inch. What's under his foot is definitely not a prop. I've already called to verify it. This military drill didn't use landmines at all. It's most likely unexploded ordnance left over from a long time ago. Do not make any sudden movements. We are already nearby, and we'll be there in a second." Wang Tiejun spewed words out like a machine gun, in a massive rant, then abruptly hung up the phone with a click. But I already understood the situation clearly. He needed to keep Chen-Hu standing completely still in place. Just as I was about to relay the message to him, Chen-Hu suddenly spoke up. "Bro, my stomach hurts so bad. I'm about to not be able to hold it in anymore." At the exact same time, the edge of the wasteland, over a dozen Public Security Bureau vehicles parked on the roadside. Wang Tiejun stepped out of the car and stood before everyone. "Attention everyone, I'm announcing the mission plan now. Team 1, start searching in a carpet formation. Your objective is to find scattered shell casings. Team 2, you guys drive the vehicles over. Your targets are the major damaged staging areas. Most importantly, keep a constant eye on Lin Yan's live stream room. Taking advantage of those 2 guys stepping on a mine. We need to clean up this battlefield. in the shortest amount of time possible. Do you understand? The theater command already stated that what's inside here are just dummy ribbons with absolutely zero lethal damage whatsoever. All units deploy into action right now. Everyone nodded in unison repeatedly and instantly split into teams charging into the wasteland, watching the backs of his men as they departed. Wang Tijun nodded with satisfaction before pulling out his phone once more. "Enter, I am so sorry about this. Our vehicle got stuck in a ditch. So you guys, we've already called a rescue team, and the absolute earliest they'll arrive is in 3 hours. Hang in there. Keep trying your best. Don't give up." In the blink of an eye, it was already past 10 p.m. Chen Hu had reached his absolute limit, but Wang Tijun was still nowhere to be found. I thought about it for a moment, grabbed Chen Hu's phone, and opened the live stream. I wouldn't have looked if I knew better, but seeing it made me so angry. Steam practically shot out of my ears. "Lin Yan, for the love of God, check the comments. Captain Wang is totally playing you guys. They've already swept through a huge circle around you. Can you guys let me catch up already? That thing under your foot is totally not a mine at all. You guys got totally conned. Don't you guys forget about Captain Wang. Can see the scavenger squads are about to arrive there too. The competition is way too fierce. Hurry up and dig that mine out so you can go pick trash. If you wait any longer, your dinner's gonna get ice cold." Seeing these comments, I hurriedly sat right down, right into the dirt around Chen Hu's feet. Looking at the rusted mine right there, this thing looks way too real. Doesn't look like a fake at all. Just as I was hesitating, Chen Hu cried out, "Bro, hurry up, before the mine even explodes. I'm gonna blow up myself. I seriously can't take this anymore." I counted down, 3, 2, 1, run, before shoving him far away and starting the official countdown. Countdown 3, 2, 1, done. Chen Hu bolted off like a bolt of lightning, running as if a ghost were chasing him, with one hand clutching his butt as he vanished behind a tree trunk. Right at that moment, the landmine on the ground suddenly started smoking and hissing with sparks. Panicking, I hurriedly covered my head, and suddenly I heard a loud boom. Then I raised my head to look. Dazzling fireworks burst and exploded across the sky. Was dumbfounded instantly. Who the heck turned fireworks into a landmine? Though I guess it looked pretty similar. Otherwise, the system wouldn't have slapped a 1,000 yuan bounty on it. The live stream audience was laughing their heads off. Who would have thought the thing trapping Chen Hu for 3 whole hours was actually a custom-made firework prop? But who on earth manufactured something like this? It's seriously terrifying. Remembered this type of firework was produced by a veteran fireworks factory. It had barely hit the market before being discontinued because its exterior finish was way too high-end and its design was way too realistic. In the distance, Wang Tijun was carrying a burlap sack, busy cleaning up the battlefield. When he saw this and hurried over with his team members, "Lin Yan, what's going on here? Didn't I tell you guys not to touch anything? Why the hell did you go setting off fireworks?" I looked at Wang Tijun, my gaze drifting straight toward behind him, at the burlap sack his team member was holding. It was completely packed with my hard-earned loot. I gritted my teeth and dragged half a sack of grenades out from behind my back, then stuck out my hand and repeatedly made the universal gesture for money. Wang Tijun's mouth twitched, knowing he hadn't played fair today, so he ordered the security officer next to him. "According to theater command regulations, issue a 10,000 yuan reward." Watching me count the cash, the security personnel had super complicated expressions. What on earth is this? They're collecting a 10,000 yuan bonus every single day. Is this a payday or what? Amid everyone's mournful gazes, turned around and handed the money to Chen Hu, then looked at Wang Tijun with a smile. "Captain Wang, you guys have really worked hard. Well then, we'll be heading out first." Before my sarcasm could fully fade, I suddenly froze in my tracks, staring intently at a dirt hole in the distance. Chen Hu had worked with me for so long that we had incredible chemistry. Without even needing me to say a word, he grabbed his shovel and dashed over there at lightning speed, following right behind to start digging up the dirt. Before Wang Tijun could even react, pitch-black warhead emerged from the hole. Chen Hu and I cheered with excitement. A bomb this big has gotta be worth at least 10,000 yuan, right? Hey Chen Hu, Captain Wang, come take a look at this. Is this thing worth 10K or what? Right as we were talking, the other contestants and the cleanup crew had arrived at the wasteland, throwing the entire scene into total chaos. Wang Tijun watched the surging crowd flood in, sat flat down, right on top of a bomb, and was completely dumbfounded. He honestly couldn't understand. Why the hell are there so many people here? Who on earth leaked the info? To be honest, I was a little scared. But at the same time, my curiosity had hit rock bottom. Wait, peeked. Besides, that thing was right in front of me. I gritted my teeth hard, gripped the hoe and shovel tightly in my hands, and Chenhu tied up his snakeskin bag. Let's go big or go home. With that said, without another word, Chenhu and I strode forward toward the small hill. Two of us started digging furiously along the base of the mountain. This bizarre spectacle left everyone completely speechless, clueless as to whether they should follow along and dig too. Seriously, what are those two bros doing? They said it was a battlefield cleanup. Why the heck are they out here digging up a mountain? But since Lin Yan is already over there digging, could there actually be valuable loot in there? Should we try digging too? The way my family lives in a nearby village, and that mountain has nothing on it. Even growing a tree. There is tough. I bet he's just made enough cash already and is just messing with people. Everyone huddled together in a noisy buzz after watching us bury our heads in digging for half a day. Without finding a single thing, everyone lowered their heads and went back to digging up the wasteland instead. Chenhu and I kept right on plugging away until Chenhu finally grew dispirited and complained. How long are we supposed to keep digging for anyway? This mountain isn't small by any means. Just relying on these two tiny little shovels, we won't even finish digging this up by next lifetime. However, right as Chenhu finished speaking, he suddenly froze his eyes, widening in shock, and let out a piercing shriek. Holy crap! I hurriedly lunged forward to clamp my hand over a panicked Chenhu, looked around cautiously, and realized that the scavenging mob had already wandered far away. I let out a sigh of relief and whispered, "Shh. Don't make a sound. Give me a hand so I can pull this thing out." "You're right, bro. Hurry up and block the camera lens. Otherwise, those freeloaders are gonna come swarming over here again. Who knows? They might just level this entire mountain in a single night." And who finally snapped back to his senses, nodded frantically over and over, and reached out to grab it, his expression instantly morphing into utter shock. "Bro, I've made up my mind. From now on, I'm sticking with you. Even if we don't win this competition, it doesn't matter. In the future, we're starting a trash-picking corporation, and we're definitely gonna make a fortune." I didn't have time to answer Chenhu as I exerted all my strength to haul out the object buried deep in the dirt. He dragged a bronze tripod cauldron up, and seeing the completely intact artifact, Chenhu instantly clamped both hands tightly over his mouth, terrified that he wouldn't be able to hold back and scream. I was just as hyped, staring fixedly at the item right in front of us, taking quite a while to slowly recover my wits. Expertly, Chenhu grabbed his phone and called Wang Tiejun. "Ha ha. Captain Wang, am I disturbing you or anything? Here's the thing. Didn't I pull out of the cleanup operation earlier? I was originally planning to head back when I noticed this mountain path was blocked, so I figured I'd do a good deed and help out the locals. Who would have thought I'd dig up a bronze cauldron? Tell me, isn't that just hilarious? Ha ha ha. Hey, Captain Wang, why aren't you saying anything?" Wang Tiejun on the other end didn't utter a single word and hung up the phone immediately. Before long, he came sprinting over, staring at me and the calf-high bronze tripod cauldron sitting right next to us, and who stood there dumbfounded for half a day before letting out a heavy sigh, walking over to pat me on the shoulder. "You going out to pick trash is seriously such a waste of talent. Let's see if you ever get a chance to bring a shovel over to my family's ancestral graves and dig around. What if you end up unearthing some legendary loot, huh? If that happens, I'll be sure to thank you a whole bunch." Standing to the side, Chenhu cracked a wide, goofy grin when we discovered that bomb earlier. Already patted down big bro Lin Yan from head to toe, and he genuinely didn't have any metal detecting gear on him. "Could you please help us contact the authorities right now? Let's see how much the cash reward is this time around." Wang Tiejun also knew this matter was of massive importance and immediately called the Bureau of Cultural Relics. Over an hour later, staff members from the Cultural Relics Bureau rushed over hurriedly and without wasting a single breath, pulled out professional specialized equipment and began inspecting it. Afterwards, the official in charge, Wang Jingji, stood up calmly and said, You guys have rendered a massive meritorious service. This bronze cauldron likely dates back to the Warring States period, and its value is completely immeasurable. I'll report this upward and request a cash reward for you guys. It'll be at least 100,000 yuan. Hearing that exact number, Chen-Hu and I were overjoyed beyond belief. More importantly, I noticed that after we dug up the bronze cauldron, the red glow on top of the small hill was still shining bright, seeming not to have faded or changed in the slightest. This proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the treasures hidden within this mountain definitely weren't limited to just a single bronze cauldron. Right before everyone else could react, while the others were busy moving the bronze cauldron, I shouldered my shovel and headed toward the back of the mountain. Seeing this, everyone froze in place, and the Cultural Relics Bureau staff all cried out in unison, "Is this guy out of his mind? Digging up one of these is already an absolute miracle. Why the heck is he going back to dig some more? Since when are cultural relics grown like wild vegetables out in the fields?" Wang Tiejun fell into deep contemplation once again, looking over toward Wang Jingji and asking himself, could there be a catch underneath? No way our inspection crew's equipment didn't pick up any anomalies inside at all. Wang Jingji spoke with absolute certainty. The moment we arrived here, we already scanned the surrounding area thoroughly, and we didn't detect anything out of the ordinary. The Cultural Relics Bureau officials led the artifact away. Wang Tiejun still wasn't in any rush, not knowing what to do and feeling like this whole ordeal wasn't over yet. Who would have thought that after waiting for a long time without any movement, Wang Tiejun started feeling discouraged, and right as he was about to call his men to leave, he heard Chen-Hu let out a gasp of shock. He hurriedly led his men rushing over. I had jumped down into a pit and pried up a wooden chest. Its lid, completely embedded with precious gems, looked like an insanely valuable item. Wang Tiejun had to hand it to them. The Cultural Relics Bureau claimed there was nothing there. We still managed to dig something up. Honestly, you just have to respect it. He pulled out his phone and made another call, and before long, the vehicles drove back over. Wang Tiejun smiled from ear to ear. Does our Public Security Bureau get a reward too, or what? We've already reported 2 major fines to you guys. Don't be so stingy. Wang Jingji was still standing there, dazed. How on earth could there still be artifacts here? He hurriedly rushed over to inspect the chest. It was made of golden Nanmu wood, completely inlaid with precious gems and jadit. Just the exterior alone was already insanely valuable. What on earth is actually inside? After conducting a careful preliminary check, he cautiously popped the chest open. Inside were rows of ancient books. The eyes of the Cultural Relics Bureau staff lit up. Now this is a priceless treasure. Everyone was beyond ecstatic, and it took quite a while for them to calm down. Wang Jingji looked at the young man. Our bureau is currently hiring personnel. If you're interested, you can skip the exams and start working right away. Wang Jingji said it with absolute sincerity. I was genuinely even more impressed than by their metal detectors. Waved my hand dismissively. Nah, forget it. I'm not cut out for a 9-to-5 job. Just picking up old junk is good enough for me. Look how much cash is this worth. I'm still busy digging up this mountain. Wang Jingji instantly changed his tone and said with an embarrassed chuckle, "My boy, it's not that we want to rob you of your findings, but according to regulations, once cultural artifacts are discovered, we have to cordon off the site and run a complete sweep all over again." Hearing that I stood there dumbfounded, was planning to pull off one massive score. So why aren't you letting me dig anymore? Seeing his apologetics expression, I had no choice but to nod in agreement. Fine. We'll wait for them to finish, and then we'll dig again. Wang Jingji had his men sweep the area once more. I sat down under a tree to take a breather, glancing at the lingering red glow up on the mountain. Chen-Hu let out a deep sigh, stood next to me for a moment, and said, "Big bro, don't stress too much. The reward money we got is already plenty. If all else fails, we can just go back to cleaning up the battlefield. Even tiny ants are still meat." I didn't answer Chen-Hu's words, and instead just stood up to look at the small hill, my expression turning bizarre, because I noticed that the red glow on the mountain was moving very distinctly. Before long, it had reached right under the tree roots. Holy crap, this system is seriously insane. Do the buried artifacts actually move around on their own? Or is there some kind of living creature down there? Could it be a mythical beast or something? Thinking that, I called out to Chen-Hu, "Grab your shovel and hurry up, swing it at that big tree root, and dig a chunk into the ground." Chen-Hu had lightning-fast reactions and immediately grabbed his shovel to dig along with me. Wang Jingji turned his head back around to see me and Chen-Hu heading toward the massive tree, digging like madmen, leaving everyone stunned for a moment. What on earth are they trying to do now? Are they seriously digging a tunnel over to that small mound to hunt for antiques or something? But no matter what, they should at least try to be subtle about it. Who on earth acts so blatantly obvious like this? Only Wang Tijun stood there with his arms crossed over his chest. Oh man, you couldn't even imagine how amused he was. Wasn't the Public Security Bureau acting the exact same way earlier? Right now, he was completely certain that there couldn't possibly be any cultural relics under that dirt mound, and that the antiques were definitely right under this tree root. This was experience paid for in blood and tears after all. He looked at Wang Jingji and chuckled. Director Wang, sometimes a man just has to learn to accept his fate. If you don't want to embarrass yourself any further, now better hurry and lead your men over to the big tree and help them dig. Who knows, you might even get a share of the credit. I've said all I can, so go chew on that yourself. With that said, Wang Tijun clasped his hands behind his back, wore an inscrutable, deeply knowing smile, and walked right over to the base of the tree, lowering his head to give Lin Yan a sidelong glance. Not bad at all. You guys have really dug up some solid experience. In just a little while, you've already dug a hole this deep. I panted heavily and waved a hand at Wang Tijun as a casual greeting, before bowing my head once more to keep digging under the tree roots. The dirt was packed tight, so digging it up wasn't going super fast. Thankfully, the red glow indicated by the system had already shifted over here and stopped moving entirely, proving that there was definitely something hidden down here. In the live stream room, the viewers were already shouting to the heavens, "They're still digging." Honestly, if anyone told me Lin Yan just dug up a nuclear warhead right now, I'd totally believe it. Good lord, this is genuinely opening my eyes to a whole new world. Would this guy literally have golden eyes or something? This whole thing is seriously way too bizarre. Right at that moment, Wang Tijun looked at me with eyes narrowed in a smile, feeling utterly satisfied inside. The Public Security Bureau's trial tribulations were finally over, and it was finally time for the Cultural Relics Bureau to suffer. But right at that instant, a loud crash suddenly rang out. Captain, down below. It caved in. An earthen cave just appeared out of nowhere in Team 1's zone. Wang Tijun was stunned and hurriedly shouted, "Something's happened. Hurry up and save them." The team members in the distance frantically rushed over, everyone wielding heavy tools. Even the entire Cultural Relics Bureau contingent arrived, with Wang Jingji getting even more excited. Based on previous experience, there were cultural relics on top of this mountain, and now there's an underground cave right beneath the tree roots. Do we even need to think about this? This is definitely a tomb robber shaft. There's definitely an ancient tomb inside this mountain. While everyone was frantically rushing to rescue them, a roar suddenly echoed from down below. "Chenhu, Chenhu, where are the sticks? Hurry up and throw some sticks down here. There are a few people down below. Definitely grave robbers. They even have weapons in their hands." The people up top instantly froze in place, and the Cultural Relics Bureau staff members, who were about to climb down, unanimously took a step back. Then they saw a plump figure, clutching a camera and leaping straight down into the pit without looking back. Loud crash echoed from below, leaving everyone completely dumbfounded. After snapping back to his senses, Wang Tijun barked, "What the hell is going on? Didn't you hear them calling from inside? Why aren't you going down there? Hurry up and save people." He also jumped straight down into the hole. At this moment, down in the pit, I was pinning a grave robber to the ground, throwing punches left and right in a furious beatdown. Just a moment ago, I had been genuinely terrified when I fell in, and in the blink of an eye, suddenly spotted a bunch of guys sitting right there. Realizing the gravity of the situation, I immediately roared out, "Call the cops!" Hearing that the grave robbers panicked, desperately scrambling to retreat and abandoning their own accomplices entirely. Manhwa rushed over and climbed back up, and the very first thing he did was adjust his camera. "It's too dark in here, bro. You gotta lift your head up. Otherwise, the frame is gonna go totally pitch black. The station is gonna dock my salary." Hearing that, I was left instantly speechless. We're in the middle of a crisis like this, and that's what you care about. You still have the mental capacity to film right now. I let out a heavy sigh and quickly pulled Chen Hu along to chase after the grave robbers. Just a moment ago, I saw it clearly. All of those guys were carrying cultural relics with them. So, no matter what, we gotta make sure we catch them and make 'em pay. At the same time, down in the deep pit, the grave robber boss, crawling at the very front, was moving at an abnormally fast speed. His accomplice following behind panted heavily and said, "Boss, stop just burying your head and crawling blindly. Can you actually look where you're going for once? Is this even the same path we took to get here earlier? Those guys are already hot on our tails right behind us. Don't let us get cornered and trapped down here." That guy from earlier was definitely a cop. His attacks were way too ruthless. That punch straight up knocked my molar flying right into my face. Grave robber boss furrowed his brows slightly, struggled mentally for a second, and reassured them, "Calm down. Following me will never lead you wrong. I happen to know another secret route that absolutely no ordinary person knows about. We're definitely gonna make it out alive." As soon as those words left his mouth, the rest of the grave robbers froze in shock. Turns out he still had a backup escape route, though in this situation, nobody dared to ask any questions. Before long, they arrived in front of a stone door, and the grave robber boss shoved the stone door open, leading everyone as they sneaked right into the show's backstage area. Ever since the discovery of the robber shaft, the show's viewership ratings had skyrocketed like crazy, dominating the top of the trending charts. Yet the professional panel of observers back in the studio had completely hit a dead end in the live broadcast room. Yushen slumped down heavily into his chair, not saying a single word for half a day. A staff member standing nearby watched with growing anxiety. "What on earth is wrong with you guys?" Yushin weakly waved a hand and sighed. "Don't talk to me. I just want some peace and quiet." The staff member bit their lip, nodded, and quietly backed out of the studio room. A short while later, an elderly cleaning lady working for the production team, with an expression full of pure system-like glitches, pushed the door open and softly called out, "Director." Hearing that, Yushin turned his head around and saw the resentful-looking auntie, who was completely dazed. What on earth is wrong with this world? Am I losing my mind, or has everyone else actually gone completely insane? At that exact same moment, Chenhu and I were searching for tracks as we walked. Who would have thought we'd end up losing their trail entirely? I stood there, stranded all alone at the dead end of the cave. I couldn't help scratching my head. Where the heck did they go? What kind of ghost trick is this? We were clearly tailing those grave robbers the entire time, and our direction wasn't wrong at all. So how on earth did they just vanish into thin air? Right while I was wondering, Chenhu suddenly spoke up. "Lin bro, come take a look at this. There's a stone slab right here. Could this possibly be a hidden door?" Quickly hurried over to Chenhu's side. The two of us leaned in close to inspect the stone slab. Thinking about how those guys were a bunch of grave robbers, there was definitely an ancient tomb hidden right behind this. Thinking of that, my heart started racing with excitement. "Did you get the storage sacks ready yet? Once we get inside later, just follow my lead and do what I do. In short, don't ever forget our core profession," Chenhu asked cautiously. "Are we taking everything?" Without missing a beat, I replied immediately, "Obviously." "So if there are any cultural relics inside, they're all ours, got it?" Chenhu nodded frantically in agreement. Afterwards, Chenhu and I shoved the stone slab open and squeezed our way into the tomb chamber. Collecting the remaining antiques into our bags, Chenhu spoke up. "These guys are way too familiar with this place. They've definitely broken in here countless times before. Who knows, all our precious loot might have already been completely cleaned out by them by now. Can't let this slide anymore. We gotta hunt them down." With that said, I followed the footprints and quietly gave chase, with Chenhu sticking closely right behind me, even taking the time to adjust his camera tripod to capture the scene inside with crystal clarity. Talk about supreme dedication to the craft and a top-tier work ethic. Meanwhile, Wang Tiejun, leading his squad, had also reached the very end of the excavation pit, gazing right before their eyes at the stone slab opened wide. He couldn't help but curse unbelievable. There really is an ancient tomb hidden inside this mountain. I want to drag Wang Jingji down here and interrogate him properly. Didn't the Cultural Relics Bureau scan this place already? How the hell do you miss a tomb this massive after checking it multiple times? He glared at his subordinates and instructed them carefully. "I heard those grave robbers are packing heavy weapons, so lock and load right now and stay on high alert. And you there, what the heck are you doing? This is an ancient burial site. Why the hell are you pulling out a grenade? Are you planning to host a group funeral for us all? Put that away right this second." Once his instructions were given, Wang Tiejun led his troops marching into the tomb. At the exact same time, Chen Hu and I tracked our way deeper into the burial chamber. At the same time, Chen Hu and I stealthily tracked our way to the tomb mound, hiding behind a coffin and observing the surrounding movements. Not far away from us, a cluster of robbers was also huddled together in hiding behind another coffin, terrified as they watched the spot where Chen Hu and I were lurking. Boss, where the heck is that exit? Hurry up and point the way. Those two guys are already inside. If we don't leave, we're screwed. No, our firepower isn't strong enough. And those two guys are seriously vicious. They've got to be Public Security Bureau Special Ops, especially that fat guy. How the hell is he still filming us right now? The head grave robber's face drained of all color as he looked at the familiar scene, desperately trying to recall how his grandpa used to open these mechanisms back in the day. When entering the door, what on earth was the method again? I was still wearing diapers back then, so his memories were way too blurry. This time, he just planned to grab some loot and slip away like his grandpa taught him. Who the heck would have expected the Public Security Bureau to be waiting here? These two guys are seriously terrifying. They chased right after us while protecting the cultural relics inside the tomb. And even stuffing full storage sacks wasn't enough for them. Since when do public security officers moonlight as cameramen while protecting cultural relics and hiding out right here? The thief couldn't wrap his head around it at all, completely bewildered and panicked, gritting his teeth. He pointed at a lampstand nearby. See that lampstand over there? That's probably it. Bug pellet, go. Check it out. Hearing that, the young guy in their crew immediately stood up and fumbled his way toward the lampstand. Right at that moment, the thief noticed that the guy holding the camera nearby seemed to have stood up too, prompting him to freak out and roar. Suppressive fire. The group of thieves lunged out from behind the coffin, raising their weapons to surround me and Chen Hu out of nowhere. Immediately after a stream of water sprayed out, I was totally baffled, wiping the water off my face with a blank look. What kind of modern tech is this? Where the hell did these TikTokers come from? If you don't even have real weapons, fine. But you're out here using water guns. Who the hell is gonna die from this? This is so embarrassing. I could die. Time seemed to grind to a complete halt, with both sides standing there blushing furiously with embarrassment. One of the thieves stammered, "Boss, I told you our firepower was too weak." As soon as those words dropped, everyone felt the ceiling shake violently, and the stone pillars inside the tomb began to sway and tilt. The young guy, who had just messed with the mechanism, cried out at the top of his lungs, "Big boss, gaw! What the heck did you make me trigger? This ain't an escape mechanism at all. This is clearly a death trap meant to send us straight to our graves." Even the grave robber boss completely lost his mind as they watched rocks and debris constantly raining down from above. Their minds plunged into utter chaos. Hurry up and run. Find somewhere to hide first. Over there. There's a stone platform. Hide underneath the stone platform. Everyone looked around and saw a stone pedestal not far away. Its underside hollowed out and spacious enough to fit several people. In this kind of situation, the only option was to hide inside. The group of tomb raiders swarmed under the stone platform, crowding together as they scrambled back to take cover. The tomb raider boss muttered in surprise, those two public security officers. Could they have kicked the bucket outside already?" Right as those words dropped, a hand slapped through the wind, striking out rapidly. I wore a cold expression and barked, "Who the hell are you talking about? Who kicked the bucket outside, huh? And move over too. You grave robber, all the way in the back. Scoot further inside a bit and make room for me. There's only so much space here. Everyone just squeeze in together." The tomb raiders instantly turned obedient and reluctantly began shifting their bodies over. I grabbed Chen Hu and ducked inside the cramped space underneath the stone slab. It was so awkward. Just a moment ago, we were fighting to the death. The next second, we were all crammed together like besties. Raise your head, and you don't see anyone. Lower your head, and you bump right into them. Why aren't these creatures feeling awkward at all? It's all because of this cramped space down here. Otherwise, with this many people, we could have built a whole villa out of it. Sensing the atmosphere felt a bit weird, I scratched my head and took the initiative to break the awkward silence. Don't get the wrong idea, everybody. We aren't public security officers. We're just out here picking up trash. However, there really are a ton of cops outside right now. So if you guys want to run away, I'm afraid that's pretty much impossible. If they ask you anything, Just say you wanted to turn yourselves in as witnesses. And as for us, we just collect scrap metal. You guys saw everything just now, right? The group of tomb raiders all cast their gazes over toward the storage sacks Chenhe was carrying on his back, which were bulging and clanking loudly with the sounds of objects colliding inside. That's some serious trouble right there. The guys swallowed hard, not daring to call those cultural relics mere scrap metal. Seeing the tomb raiders. Stay silent, I started getting anxious. Anyway, when the cops get here, whatever they ask you, just tell them you were grave robbing. As for what they ask us, just say we were out picking up junk. And if they keep asking where this pile of junk came from, just say we picked it up, understand? The tomb raiders nodded, and one of them with a hesitant expression. Liu Meng said, I've got an idea. How about we say the tomb was about to collapse, and you two rushed in heroically. Protect this pile of cultural relics. If we do it like that, the Public Security Bureau won't blame you guys, and might even reward you instead. But you guys gotta help us out too. It's everyone's first time. So can you put in a good word for us, please? Hearing that, my eyes lit up. Who would have thought tomb raiders could produce such a genius talent? I immediately nodded in agreement. Don't you guys worry. I know people inside the bureau, so I'll have them send some cash your way. You guys can eat some decent meals in there. Got any other good stuff on you? Hurry up and hand it all over. Otherwise it's gonna be a headache if they search you. Hearing that, everyone nodded in unison and hurriedly fished out all their cultural relics. I opened my storage sack and tossed everything inside. Right at that moment, a voice rang out from outside shouting, Captain Wong, we're all right here. Not a single person is missing. After a few hours of digging all the way through the tomb, we actually pulled it off. Cultural Relics Bureau staff pushed deep into the tomb chamber, but after searching around for a long time, everyone was utterly disappointed because the tomb was completely empty. There wasn't a single thing left, and even the stone slabs inside the tomb had been wiped squeaky clean. The only exception was Chenhe dragging a bulging storage sack behind him, from which the sound of objects colliding occasionally rang out. They were beyond pissed, completely refusing to accept this. This time around, their reward money probably had to reach the millions. Back in the production team's studio, everyone couldn't help but jump to their feet, desperately rubbing their eyes. The show had genuinely blown up big time. Viewership views had officially shattered 30,000, soaring straight to the top of the charts as everyone cheered endlessly. You've gone viral. The entire crew was drowning in a sea of celebration. Yu Shen also let out a massive sigh of relief back when the tomb ceiling collapsed earlier. He almost thought someone was about to die. Now that everyone was safe and sound, and viewer traffic was through the roof, was there anything left for him to stress over? Screw the direction. Let it ride. Right after that, he slammed his hand on the table and declared to everyone, first things first, congratulations to the show. Staff salaries are getting doubled. However, out of this season's 100 contestants, 99 of them have already called the cops to report it. To withdraw, and I both agreed. So this season of the show officially comes to an end.